Torrential rains pounded the country for 5 straight days last week, leaving at least 17 people dead and 11 missing, with search and rescue operations still underway and damaging nearly 2,000 public facilities nationwide.
지난주 폭우가 닷새 연속 전국을 휩쓸고 지나가면서 최소 17명의 사망자와 11명의 실종자가 나온 가운데 현재도 구조 작업이 이루어지고 있으며 전국적으로 공공시설 피해도 2,000건에 달하는 것으로 나타났습니다.
Yeah, unless you've been living under a rock, it's been raining here in South Korea, and there's been a lot of damage. In fact, record-setting amounts of rain. Specifically, Sancheong County got hit pretty hard. In fact, mudslides there were the reason for at least 8 deaths there. And in a very rare occurrence, authorities ordered an evacuation for the entire county. And there are still reports of missing people, 6 people unaccounted for. Over in Gapyeong, much closer here in the Seoul metropolitan region, 4 people are still missing, as well as in the Jeolla region in the city of Gwangju as well, 2 people missing. So not just the human casualties, but there's also been a lot of property damage, a lot of livestock, farmland, agricultural areas have all been affected by these rains.
In the headline, it only mentions the public facilities, but more than 2,000 private facilities have also been damaged because of the torrential rains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I was actually in the Chungcheong region last week to cover this story. I was in Dangjin County, where a big traditional market there also got hit very hard. And they say this happened last year as well. If you talk to the vendors there, there's a nearby stream, but not to this extent. So we're seeing more and more annually these sort of unnatural weather phenomena or these disasters occurring.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as it says in the headline, search and rescue operations are underway.
Yep. So it means that these search and rescue operations have already begun, right? They're in progress or they're currently happening. So one word, if something is underway, that means an event or in this case, an operation is happening right now.
진행 중이다. Something is underway. UNDERWAY. One word. Now, what's a public facility?
Yeah, so if we break this down, a facility is any sort of building or infrastructure. But if it's public, it's run by the government or by a community. Examples would be things like libraries, parks, public transportation, restrooms, anything built with public funding.
Yeah. 공공시설, public facility. 사유시설은 private facility라고 할 수 있겠죠. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Torrential rains pounded the country for 5 straight days last week, leaving at least 17 people dead and 11 missing, with search and rescue operations still underway and damaging nearly 2,000 public facilities nationwide. Here's our next headline.
China has unveiled a massive inflatable dome in the middle of a major city, designed to help shield residents from dust and noise caused by a nearby construction site.
중국 진안시 도심 한복판의 건설 현장에 초대형 에어돔이 설치돼 화제입니다. 건설사 측은 이 에어돔이 공사장의 먼지와 소음으로 인한 주민 피해를 최소화하기 위한 용도라고 밝혔습니다.
Yeah, so this is in the city of Jinan, and this dome is 20,000 square meters. It's massive. It's 50 meters high, and like the headline suggests, the reason for this is to protect the residents from construction that's happening. So this dome covers the construction site, and it also uses sort of this negative pressure and air filtration systems, and it's also it's very not nearly transparent, but it allows sunlight in, so it doesn't need extra sort of lighting facilities or anything like that. So and it's made out of this sort of polyester sort of fabric. So leave it to China to build something so big and massive. How they built or how they created this dome measuring 20,000 square meters is truly amazing in and of itself.
Exactly. 20,000 square meters. 2만 제곱미터가 평방이 좀 익숙하신 분들 아직도 있을 수 있으니까요. 한 6,000평 정도 됩니다. 상당한 규모죠. As you said, it's to cover that construction site, but it's because nearby they have relics like a really old church and buildings that have been around for ages. They don't want that to be in any way, shape or form harmed. harmed by this.
Yeah, if you live in just in Seoul here too, there's always construction happening,
yeah.
and you know that you try to protect yourself. You see the little displays showing the air quality
Sure.
and things like that, but it's impossible to completely shield yourself from this sort of dust and even the noise pollution as well, right?
Absolutely. You said that this is an inflatable dome.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so if you inflate something, you're filling something with air or gas, things like a balloon, right? Or an inflatable boat you can have.
Right.
Sometimes if you go to an amusement park, you'll have inflatable sort of these bouncy castle playground thingies that children can play on, as well as water
Yeah.
slides. So that's what inflatable means, to make something bigger.
Sometimes in front of certain stores, they have these inflatable tube men,
Yeah.
you know, with
Still don't know what it's called.
wobbly arms. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So anything that you blow, like a balloon, is inflatable. 그래서 공기 주입을 하는 것을 inflatable 한 것이라고 얘기를 합니다.
Yeah, you can also inflate numbers, for example, right? If you exaggerate your numbers. So if I say, oh, I'm actually 183 centimeters tall, I'm inflating my height a little bit.
아하.
I'm not that tall.
그래요. inflating이 뭐 과장한다라는 의미로도 비유적으로 쓸 수 있겠네요. 그렇지만 여기서는 이 돔이 어떤 이제 탁탁한 구조물로 한 게 아니라 일종의 뭐 텐트 재질 같은 걸로 보여져요. 사진으로 봤을 때는. 그래서 inflatable dome이라고 표현을 하고 있습니다. Now, to shield people from dust and noise is what it says here.
So a shield, think Captain America, right? That's his.
yes.
Well, it's not really a weapon. It's actually a defensive
iconic.
Weapon or defensive arm, I guess. But if you shield A from B, that means A, you're protecting A from the danger, which is B,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. shield라는 명사는 방패인데 동사는요 막아준다, 보호한다라는 의미가 있어서요. shield 누군가 from 무언가로부터 누구를 보호한다. So here, this dome is shielding the people or the residents from dust and noise caused by this construction site.
Right. Another example, children. You try to shield children from possibly harmful content on either TV or the internet, for example, right?
That's right. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. China has unveiled a massive inflatable dome in the middle of a major city designed to help shield residents from dust and noise caused by a nearby construction site.
At least 35 people have reportedly died and several remain missing after a tourist boat capsized in Vietnam during bad weather in Ha Long Bay, a popular destination in the country.
베트남의 인기 관광지인 할롱베이에서 악천후로 인해 유람선이 전복돼 최소 35명이 사망하고 여러 명이 실종 상태인 것으로 알려졌습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so an unfortunate incident here in Ha Long Bay, which is a popular destination not just for a lot of Koreans as well, right? But what happened was this boat capsized. It was a tourist boat. These ferries, many of them sort of go and dock in Ha Long Bay, but it capsized.
So to capsize means to flip upside down.
It flipped over, and there was heavy rain. The weather conditions were not good. So far, the numbers have been going back and forth, but authorities there have downgraded it to, 35 people dead. It was carrying 49 people altogether. And 11 people were actually rescued, including a boy who was trapped in the vessel for about 4 hours before he was successfully rescued there. But an unfortunate incident here. Ha Long Bay is a UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. And I myself actually visited Ha Long Bay back in May, very recently, and I spent a night on one of these boats. But
I heard it's beautiful.
It is beautiful, but unfortunately, the conditions were not good. Some accounts say some of the passengers were saying they should turn around, but the crew there said it was okay. So I'm sure that'll all be investigated in the coming days and weeks.
Absolutely, yeah. This incident is obviously far from the charm you immediately conjure up when you think of Ha Long Bay. 원래 이제 49명이 타고 있었던 배라고 하고요. 전복이 되면서 지금 안타깝게도 많은 사망자가 나왔습니다. 그러나 11명이 구조가 됐다라는 소식도 들리고 있습니다. 전복됐다, 뒤집혔다, capsize, C-A-P-S-I-Z-E. 과거면은 D 하나 붙이면 되겠죠. Now, when you say 실종자가 있다,
Yeah.
In English, how do you say that?
Yeah, so you hear this in the news a lot, right? So and so or so many number of people remain missing,
Right.
right? It's when a person, or it could be an object as well, when it's not found and it's
Yeah.
still unaccounted for.
이 remain이라는 것은 여전히 어떤 상태라는 뜻이 있어서요. Was it many people remain missing?
Yeah.
이렇게 얘기를 하고 있죠. Several remain missing. 아직 많은 사람들이 여전히 실종 상태다.
Right. And it could be in an accident like this, or it could be if someone is just unidentified, we don't know the whereabouts of a person, for example, a child, heaven forbid,
Yeah.
is missing, then you could say the victim or the child remains missing.
네, 누군가가 실종됐을 때 이제 보통 be missing을 써요. 근데 여전히라는 말을 하고 싶으니까 remain을 넣은 겁니다. 자, 그리고 이제 뭐 이런 얘기가 나왔으니까 우리가 유인물 찾는 곳
Yeah.
단어도 같이 알아두면 좋은데요. Lost and found.
Lost and found.
네. So maybe your phone is missing or you lost something at an amusement park.
Yeah.
Then you would go to the lost and found.
Right.
It might be there.
Yep.
Okay. What is a popular destination?
Yeah, a popular destination, simply put, would be a place that's frequently visited by many people. It could be a city, Paris, Tokyo, or it could be an attraction or a landmark.
Yeah.
Things like that.
그래요. 유명한 관광지, 인기, 목적지라는 단어들이 합쳐져서 사람들이 많이 찾는 그런 관광지가 되겠습니다. Popular destination. Here's the headline again. At least 35 people have reportedly died and several remain missing after a tourist boat capsized in Vietnam during bad weather in Ha Long Bay, a popular destination in the country. Here's our next headline.
2 Chinese satellites have successfully docked in geostationary orbit for refueling and servicing, marking a first-of-its-kind achievement not yet matched by other leading space nations.
중국이 연료가 바닥난 자국 위성에 급유 전용 위성을 정지궤도상에 밀착시켜서 우주 급유를 하는데 성공했습니다. 이는 미국 등 다른 우주 강국들보다 앞선 최초의 사례입니다. All right, so
Yeah.
break this down for us.
Okay,
What's going on?
I'll try to.
Okay.
So there's a big space race going on, right?
Yeah.
With China really jumping into the competition here. But what they did was they were able to, if something is geostationary, if you break this down, geo would mean the Earth, right? So it means it's stationed or it's fixed with the Earth. And it happens about more than 20,000 miles, I'd say about 40,000 kilometers above the Earth. And it's specifically locked or fixed with the equator. And that's what a geostationary orbit is. Now, there are other sorts of orbits as well, but this is the first time anyone's been able to do this. And it's a major advancement because what they're able to do, like the headline suggests, is that refueling satellites during their flight, you can extend their operational life so they can last longer. And also it reduces a lot of the garbage that's up floating in space, this debris, right? Which is, and it's also critical for maintaining long-term sort of operations.
Right.
So all these benefits, but it is a major breakthrough here in space.
So China has managed to fuel higher up than its competitors?
But also not just higher up, but also to be fixed on the equator because
okay.
normal satellites are geosynchronous, which means that, so geostationary is a type of geosynchronous orbit, but geosynchronous orbits basically mean they rotate the Earth at about the same rotation, 24 hours, as the Earth, but just not in that fixed location above the equator. Did you get all that?
Interesting.
Okay.
Sort of.
I had to do my homework for this too.
Thank you so much. You've made it easy to understand.
Okay.
그래요. 이 geostationary라는 거는 지구 정지 궤도상에 있다라는 뜻인데요. 아까 2만 마일 정도 상공 2만 마일 정도 있다라고 설명을 해주셨어요. 킬로미터로 치면 한 3만 5천 킬로미터의 원 궤도라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 이 정지 궤도고요. 여기에서 우리 차는 주유를 하죠. 우주는 이제 우주 급유를 이번에 하게 됐습니다. This is a first of its kind achievement.
Yeah, so the way this was written, first of its kind in and of itself is an adjective. So it's combined with these hyphens, right? So if something is first of its kind, it means it's never been done before, it's
Yeah.
never been achieved before, it's completely new and unique, it's unprecedented.
And it's used as an adjective, first of its kind,
First of
all
its-
linked with hyphens.
Yes.
First of its kind achievement. 최초의 성과. 이 first hyphen of hyphen it's hyphen kind.
Yeah.
굉장히 긴 형용사인데요. 이게 바로 이제 이런 종류 중에서는 처음이다, 즉 최초라는 뜻입니다.
This is obviously you would use this in writing.
Yeah.
In speech, you wouldn't say, "Oh, did you
first
see the
ever."
first of its kind achievement
No,
of the
right,
You see
right.
the first time ever China
Yeah.
has blah blah blah, etc."
Definitely, yeah. Colloquially, just saying first ever or something simpler is more natural. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're writing it down, it's great to use all sorts of different expressions, sometimes longer ones, more formal expressions. And this is a great one to write as well. First of its kind, something.
Mm-hmm.
What about not yet matched?
Yeah, so this is interesting. Initially, not yet matched, first of all, it means that something or someone hasn't been equaled or it's never been rivaled.
There is no match.
There is no match,
Yeah.
basically. But it's interesting that they used not yet matched, which kind of insinuates that maybe someone else will be able to do this in the future, possibly, probably.
Because there's a space race going
Sure,
on.
there's a
Yeah.
competition, but
Yeah.
you can actually replace this with, if you just said unmatched, it just simply means it's unrivaled, but unparalleled is another way to say it. But to say not yet matched gives you that impression that there is a competition and possibly someone else will be able to do this.
Exactly. Unmatched. 그러면은 따라잡을 사람이 없다. 따라잡을 상대 편이 없다. 이런 얘기인데 yet가 들어가서요. 아직까지는 하면서 좀 여지를 두고 있습니다. 다른 나라가 따라잡을 수도 있죠. 앞으로 계속해서 특히 미국이 많이 지금 중국의 이런 우주 발전을 경계하고 보고 있으니까 그렇게 될 수도 있을지 모르겠지만 현재로서는 중국이 좀 앞서가고 있습니다.
Yeah, they're calling it the second space race, right?
The second space race after Russia
Back in the 60s,
and
50s,
the
yeah,
US,
mid-20th century.
Of course. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Two Chinese satellites have successfully docked in geostationary orbit for refueling and servicing, marking a first-of-its-kind achievement not yet matched by other leading space nations. Here's our next headline.
A study has revealed that dogs actively watch television, showing clear preferences for content featuring other animals over human-centered shows, and even exhibiting personality-driven viewing habits similar to those of humans.
반려견들이 TV를 볼 때 인간 중심의 프로그램보다 동물이 등장하는 콘텐츠에 더 많이 반응하는 등 적극적으로 TV를 시청할 뿐만 아니라 사람처럼 각 개체마다 성격에 따라 다른 시청 습관을 보인다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다.
Yeah,
I love this story.
Yeah, I'm a dog. Good thing we're ending on a sort of lighter note here. I'm a dog lover. I've made that known several times,
Yes.
but I don't think I needed a study to tell me that dogs are able to look at these visuals on television or other screens. This study found that 88% of dogs actively watch television. That's a vast majority. My former pet was not interested.
No?
She did not care about
Okay.
the TV. But it shows that, these dogs, these pets, experience this sort of meaningful, object-filled world when they view television, according to this study. And it's also just how they interact as well. They notice that what scientists called anticipatory following when I've seen videos of this when they track moving objects on the screen, and if something moves off the screen, they'll go behind the screen
to see if it's
to see if it's
there.
there, like a child, So
Adorable.
we know that animals sometimes don't recognize their own reflection, but they're able to see these screens, which is fascinating, I think.
I love this.
Yeah.
I watched that movie Flow when it came out a couple of months ago. It's an animated movie, basically with no words, only animals. Surviving through weather catastrophes. And it was just adorable. And I loved it. The main character is a cat, but she befriends a dog and other animals as well. And initially they're not friends, especially the cat. It doesn't care for the dog.
Yeah.
But the dog really wants to be the cat's friend and
Yeah.
just keeps wagging its tail and going up. And the cat is just not interested at all. But by the end of the movie, they're best of friends.
Yeah. It's a love-hate relationship between dogs and cats, right?
It was lovely.
Eternally. But
Yeah.
I was going to say, I get a lot of videos on my feed, and a lot of them show, The Lion King. The animated movie. A lot of dogs are very fascinated by that because, of course, there are a lot of four-legged creatures in that movie. So I think that's a big favorite, I might say, for dogs.
Well, now we have scientific proof to show that dogs really do care what they watch on telly.
Absolutely.
right, let's have a look at this word, which we use all the time. It's content.
Yes. So I'm glad we're talking about this because I have a
Yes.
lot to say. First of all, content used here on TV. We're talking about things, material, not just on TV, but it could be in any other sort of electronic medium. It could be on a website. So anything that's put on these media would be content, right? But normally content would just be anything that's held in something, right? Can I see the contents of your bag,
no.
of your purse, right? So what?
No, Shane.
So in that case, you can say in the plural as an example. You can use the plural, right? The contents of your bag may be searched at security.
That's
for
with
example.
an S.
With an S, right? But
내용물.
when you talk about TV content, normally you don't say what contents are you watching.
No.
You can't say that, right? But in Korean, I understand conten츠. You get that. So sometimes people mistakenly put the S in there, I think.
자, 이게 헷갈리는 이유가 바로 그거예요. 지금 얘기하신 우리말 표기법에는 컨텐츠라고 하니까 왠지 영어에 S가 붙는 것 같아요. 그렇지만 내용, 주제라는 뜻의 컨텐츠는 영어로 S 없이 content.
Yeah.
그냥 무조건 단수로 씁니다.
When we're talking about TV specifically, or
그렇죠. 아니면
things
인터넷.
like things
인터넷
like that.
content.
Yes.
There's some great content. 우리는 이제 컨텐츠라고 하면서 많이 얘기를 하는 그게 영어로는 S가 없고요. 자, S가 붙는 컨텐츠는 어떤 거냐면 내용물 아니면 책의 목차. 이럴 때는 contents라고 해요. 그래서 물리적인, 그렇죠. 아까 가방 얘기했어요. 그래서 가방의 내용물을 좀 확인할 수 있을까요? 그럴 때는 can I see the contents of your bag? 이렇게.
Right. I was going to say the table of contents,
Yes.
like you just mentioned, right? What's contained
right.
in that book. But then there's another meaning for this word, the same spelling, C-O-N-T-E-N-T, as an adjective to be content, which is when you're in a state of sort of happiness or satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
And that the pronunciation, the stress is different. There it's on the the second syllable.
만족한다라는 의미로 굉장히 만족스러워 할 때 I feel content. 스펠링은 같지만 강세가 다르고 의미도 다른 이 단어는 같이 참고로 알아두시면 되겠습니다. Now let's move to personality driven.
Yeah, so if something is driven by something, it's motivated by that. So personality driven would be when you're focused on or the shaped by the character or the sort of the style or the image of person, right? This show is personality driven, much by, of course, our wonderful host, right?
What?
Sue Choi, no?
Thank you.
But a lot of, YouTube channels, for example, are personality driven.
그렇죠. personality driven이라는 거는 그 개인이 주도한다. 어떤 한 사람이 주도한다. 아니면은 지금 이제 뭐 TV personality, radio personality 할 때는 그런 이제 뭐라 그래야 될까요? 어떤 뭐 방송인을 얘기하는 의미로 우리가 personality를 쓰기도 합니다. 네, 근데 여기서는 이제 각각의 그 강아지들이 성격이 다 다르잖아요. 그래서 그 강아지 성격마다 또 좋아하는 프로그램들이 있다. 사람처럼 마찬가지로.
So they have their preferences.
Yes.
But my dog, she did not have any preference at all for TV.
Well, that's her personality.
Yeah, it is her personality,
of
and it
course.
fits her perfectly. I guess.
Some people don't like television.
Yeah.
That's fine. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A study has revealed that dogs actively watch television, showing clear preferences for content featuring other animals over human-centered shows, and even exhibiting personality-driven viewing habits, similar to those of humans. Well, that's it for the 5 headlines this morning with Shane Harm.
With record-breaking downpours now over, Korea is expected to see a new round of weather extremes due to sweltering heat in the coming days, according to the National Weather Agency.
기록적인 집중호우가 끝난 이후 이번에는 전국적으로 폭염이 앞으로 며칠 동안 이어질 것으로 보인다고 기상청이 발표했습니다. All right, tell us more.
This is the story we can't get away from.
I
It's
know.
all around us. We had the furnace-like heat a few weeks ago.
We
Then
did.
we had of course, the record-breaking rainfall just last week. And now here we are. The Korean Meteorological Administration has reissued these heat wave warnings and advisories all across the nation, which means it's back to the heat again.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at well over 30 degrees across the nation in the afternoon today, maybe even right now in some areas.
Roughly around there. And
yeah.
that's actually just the temperature on the thermometer. When we talk about real feel, how we feel in this temperature, we're talking about close to 40 degrees, somewhere around, the 40s or late 30s at least.
Exactly. It's
Or
unbearable.
high 30s, excuse me.
Let's have a look at this expression here. A new round of something.
A new round of is an expression used to describe the start of another instance or the start of another cycle of something that has already happened before. That's the important thing. It's not the first time it's happened, so it's happening again. And we use this phrase for events, for occasions or occurrences that are kind of happening in repeated phases.
Right. So I'm thinking of two instances. One would be a game show.
Okay.
Like round one.
Right.
Round two. You're going into the different levels, I guess.
Sure.
And then also when you're drinking, right? You sort of like second round.
Sure.
It's like ita.
Right. Or, oh, yes, that's how it's used in Korea too. And also within one sitting, you can also have different rounds of
yeah,
drinks.
right, that's
so
right.
I think in Korean drinking culture, it's definitely like the chas. When you relocate to a new place, usually we might say that's bar hopping. But also within one place that you're at, you can have another round of drinks.
So it's going round literally, is it? Or what does that mean?
You can buy a round. It doesn't have to be an actual physical circle round, but you might buy a new set of drinks for your friends.
I see.
Right. So it's another batch of drinks.
그래요. 이제 이 라운드의 느낌 잘 아시겠죠? 새로운 차례라는 뜻이 있어서 이렇게 이제 다시 또 이게 회식을 한다든지 그럴 때 한 번 더 주문해서 뭘 마실 때도 쓸 수 있겠지만 우리가 게임쇼에서도요. 라운드 1, 라운드 2 이렇게 하면은 이제 여러 가지의 다른 레벨을 얘기하기도 합니다. 자, 그런데 여기서는요. We're talking about a new round of weather extremes. So as you said, we had very hot weather, that's extreme. And then very wet weather, that's also extreme. And now very hot again.
Right. So the feeling on this is not that it's just going to happen once and then be over, but it feels like there's an ongoing pattern. Sometimes it's an escalating pattern. So sometimes it's getting more or higher or increasing in degree, but not always. It just feels like there's something ongoing.
I think during the pandemic, we use this as well. There's a new round of the
Coronavirus cases, or the government might have issued a new round of shots or injections for people.
그래요. 이렇게 질병이나 아니면 뭐 바이러스 독감도 마찬가지일 것 같고요. 뭐 이렇게 새롭게 한 차례 퍼지고 있다라고 할 때 a new round of the flu is spreading across the country. Perhaps you might say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So in that case, you can use it for either a negative situation or a positive situation. There's no real, positive or negative requirement to this.
Okay. Now let's have a look at an expression that describes how hot it is, and that's sweltering heat. What does that mean?
There are many ways to describe how hot it is. Sweltering is an adjective that we use in normal conversation and also on the news a lot. I think it describes not just the heat, but it feels very suffocating.
Right.
It can include a little bit of the fact that it's very humid.
Yes. In the opening today, I think I read the word searing.
Searing.
So searing, stifling.
I said suffocating.
Suffocating.
Here right now, we're talking about sweltering.
Sizzling, maybe.
So many S
I
words.
know. I don't know why they all begin with S. But
We need to think of one that doesn't begin with an S. That means the same thing. But yes, a lot of S words that mean that it's very hot.
very hot, very hot. 맞아요. 숨막히는 찌는 듯한 더위, sweltering heat. S-W-E-L-T-E-R-I-N-G. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. With record-breaking downpours now over, Korea is expected to see a new round of weather extremes due to sweltering heat in the coming days, according to the National Weather Agency. Here's our headline number 2.
The number of foreigners using Korea's railway services reached nearly 3 million in the first half of this year, almost double the figure from 2 years ago.
올해 상반기 국내 고속철도와 일반 철도를 이용한 외국인이 300만 명에 육박하면서 2년 새 2배나 급증한 것으로 나타났습니다. Well, we all know how fantastic our rail services are. Tell us more.
So awesome here
Yeah.
in Korea. I'm just getting back from a lovely trip that my husband and I did on the KTX down to Busan.
Nice.
So convenient, so clean, so fast.
How long does it take?
Oh, I think it was a little bit under 3 hours.
Wow.
I believe.
Yeah.
So quite speedy and safe, of
Yes.
course. We're not the only ones that think that. According to SRT, the high-speed train service, as well as KORail, the operator of the KTX system, from January to June of this year, a total of 85 million passengers use the railway services. And of that number, we have about 3.3%, which were logged as foreign customers.
Yeah, got it. 자, 이렇게 고속철도와 일반 철도를 이용한 외국인이 많았다라고 하면서 a lot of people, a lot of foreigners used railway services라고 했는데요. What's that?
Railway services are, modes of transport that are on a track, on a rail. So railway services, this can include the slower trains, as well as the high-speed bullet trains,
Right.
as well as, across the Seoul metropolitan subway system as well.
그렇죠. 전반적인 철도 서비스를 영어로 railway services라고 하고요. And what's a figure from 2 years ago or 1 year ago or whatever?
Exactly. You can put in, as you have just done now, a different time period there. So a figure in this case is a number. So a figure from X number of years ago or months ago or days ago. And what you're doing is you're comparing two numbers or maybe statistics in possibly a report from a certain period of time ago.
Exactly. F-I-G-U-R-E, figure라는 게 수치, 숫자라는 뜻이 있어서요. From 얼마 ago, 이전에 기록된 그 수치의 얼마다. 여기서는 이제 2배다. 2년 전에 비해서 지금 외국인 관광객들이 우리 철도를 2배 이상 활용하고 있습니다.
So in that case, we use the word double
Yeah.
to say that it's 2 times the number from 2 years ago.
That's right. If it was 3 times, it would be triple. Here's the headline one more time. The number of foreigners using Korea's railway services reached nearly 3 million in the first half of this year, almost double the figure from 2 years ago.
Researchers in Europe have linked sharp agricultural price increases, including a 300% spike in Australian lettuce and a 50% rise in European olive oil, to extreme weather events between 2022 and 2024.
호주에서 양상추 값이 300% 오르고 유럽산 올리브유가 50% 뛰는 등 세계적으로 농산물 가격이 가파르게 상승한 배경에 2022년부터 2024년 사이 발생한 극단적인 기상 이변 사례들이 관련 있다는 유럽 연구진의 조사 결과가 발표됐습니다. All right, we're talking about the weather again. Tell us more.
Again. So researchers from this group in Europe analyzed different weather events, extreme weather events in particular, and say that price jumps in food prices have or can be linked to these extreme weather events, and that those are caused by climate change.
Yeah. We have so many climate change related stories these days.
It seems almost daily.
Yeah.
And so it seems obvious, but if you look all around us, all these sort of events that we're seeing on the news and that we are actually experiencing here in Korea and around the world are all part of what we're sadly calling the new normal in terms of what we, consider in our yearly weather patterns. Some examples include, extreme heat here in Asia.
Yeah.
So, for example, in China last year, there was a heat wave that led to temperatures of around 46 degrees Celsius.
Oh my goodness.
And so that in turn causes, that batch of crops to die.
There's that big ripple effect.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then that raises prices for
Yes.
farmers, and then that becomes the price that consumers have to pay.
Exactly.
So it's all linked.
When you're paying more out of your own wallet, it sort of really hits you hard, doesn't it? More so than just saying something's happening in the skies. It's not just, unrelated to
Right.
us.
It's no longer something that you just see on the news, or it's not just a report on the economy
Yeah.
or a business report. It's now really come to the table for us. Here in Korea, I think an index that's used often is the price of Napa cabbage, which is, of course, the main ingredient in kimchi.
Yeah.
And when those prices go up, households really feel it.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about prices going up. There was a huge spike in Australian lettuce prices.
Spike, it can be used as a noun or a verb. A spike is, you can imagine the shape of a spike, like on the back of a dinosaur's back.
Okay.
Or if you look at a physical chart or graph, if numbers are going up, the arrow is going to spike. And when you have a spike, or when something spikes, it means it increases, but it increases very sharply.
Yeah.
Very intensely. So it's not subtle. It's not a soft line.
이 스파이크라는 게 명사로도 쓰이고 동사로도 쓰이는데요. 보통은 우리가 이제 경제 뉴스에서 얘기할 때는 갑자기 뭔가 확 올랐을 때 급증, 급등의 의미로 많이 쓰죠. 그런데 이제 물리적인 뾰족한 것도 스파이크입니다. What do you call the things on the back of a porcupine or a hedgehog? That's not a spike, is that? What do you call that?
Those are quills. no?
Quills, yeah.
Right?
So I mean, they look spiky, I guess, or prickly.
Those pointy needles on the back
yeah.
of a porcupine.
Yeah, but that's
I
called
think
a quill.
a quill,
Yeah.
specifically for those animals. But I think, in normal conversation, if we called those spikes, I think
People would understand,
everyone
maybe?
would
Okay.
understand, unless, you're on National Geographic and, specifically on as an animal expert. But yeah,
네.
those are all spikes as well.
뾰족뾰족한 그런 고슴도치라든지 포큐파인 뒤에 있는 거는 보통 quill이라고 하는데요. 그것도 어쨌든 이제 이미지는 비슷하죠. 뾰족뾰족하다. 그래서 스파이크의 이제 어떻게 보면 통하는 이미지는 있어요. 그래서 그렇게 it's not called a spike. But people would
Right.
maybe understand
Yeah.
if English is not your native language and you said, there's a lot of spikes.
Right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
descriptive.
Yeah.
You're describing what it looks like. And as far as like an action, in the sport of volleyball, you have
Yeah.
the motion of a spike.
Yes.
And that's also very intense and hard.
Got
so you
it.
can imagine it that way too.
네, 좋습니다. 자, extreme weather events. What about that?
Extreme weather events is the umbrella term for all these things that are happening around the world, including flooding, extreme rainfall. We have the crazy wildfires that we've seen in Korea as well as around the world, typhoons, hurricanes, all these things that are happening. And what this research group in Europe specifically said, which I thought was the most interesting, is that between 2022 and 2024, there were so many of the weather events that they analyzed had never happened before 2020.
Yeah.
So that's how crazy these extreme weather events were.
우리는 보통 기상이변이라고 하잖아요. 근데 영어에서는 극한 기상 현상, extreme weather events라고 표현을 합니다. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Researchers in Europe have linked sharp agricultural price increases, including a 300% spike in Australian lettuce and a 50% rise in European olive oil, to extreme weather events between 2022 and 2024. Let's move on to the next headline.
Paleontologists at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science have uncovered a rare dinosaur fossil right beneath the museum's parking lot during a drilling project intended to extract an Earth core sample.
미국 덴버 자연과학 박물관의 지하주차장 바닥에서 지질 구조를 알아보기 위한 시추공 작업이 진행되던 도중 희귀 공룡 화석이 발견됐습니다. Wow.
Talk about a find, an unexpected find at that. Paleontologists at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science weren't really looking for this. They weren't thinking that they would find this incredible discovery, but underneath the museum's parking lot, they found this dinosaur bone in January. I don't even think that they themselves and their experts in this knew what they were looking at because they were actually drilling for something else else, and they came upon this.
It must have been lying there for hundreds of years at least.
Oh,
maybe thousands.
Yeah, longer.
Yeah, a very, very long time.
Millennia.
Right. Oh my goodness. So it was right beneath the parking lot?
Right beneath the parking
Yeah,
lot.
what does
and
that
they were,
mean? Yeah.
they were digging.
Yeah.
So beneath means to be under something. And if you put the word right in front of there, you're giving it even more immediacy, even more proximity. So it's even closer. So it's
Yeah.
right beneath. So it's right under. It's very closely under something.
Exactly. 자, 바로 아래에 있었다라는 뜻으로 바로 right, beneath, 아래라는 표현이 있습니다. I don't know if you could explain to us the difference between beneath and under, because they are quite similar, aren't they? Are they interchangeable, would you say?
Yeah, oh my goodness. I feel like I'm...
Sorry, I've put you on the spot,
No,
haven't I?
not at all. Putting me on the spot is fine, but I'm having nightmares of my Japanese class learning these prepositions.
Oh, really? Okay.
Prepositions are hard. They're always relative, right? But beneath and under, they feel the same. I
Yeah.
mean, they're, to be under something, to be beneath something.
Yeah. To me, I feel like if something is beneath, it's hidden, it's covered, you can't immediately see it.
Right.
Whereas under, you might be able to see something that is under. For example, I don't know, let's say, there are many shelves. If you look at the top shelf, the one that's under that shelf,
Right.
you can see it. You don't have to dig or anything. There's an apple under the shelf with the pineapple or something.
You're looking at
Sorry.
my pineapple
Yes,
shirt,
yes.
and I think your brain thought of
Yeah,
pineapples.
exactly. But when you say beneath, I feel like you have to maybe open a lid. No, not a lid, but maybe lift a blanket or something, or dig the ground. It's covered in some way, maybe.
Right. And another way to say that, I think, going on what you're saying, is under feels a little bit more general.
Yes, yes.
So under, if you had to analyze this, I feel like under is just more of a positioning thing. And beneath, like you say, does sort of feel a little bit more covered.
Got it.
Cloaked.
Yeah.
So if you
Exactly.
only have time to memorize one, I would say under.
Exactly. So this dinosaur fossil was under the parking lot.
Right.
But no one knew it was there.
Right, and I should give you the number of years there that we were
Yeah.
just talking about, but the dinosaur is from 67 million years ago. So
I
that
was
would
quite
be
far off, wasn't I?
We're not paleontologists, but
my goodness.
so it was beneath. It was obviously covered by layers of parking lot material.
Yeah, and cement and all of that.
And asphalt. And then when they went to dig, they were looking for something else. They were looking for an earth core sample, so where you drill out like a kind of like a straw
Yeah.
of the earth for studying purposes, for
Right.
research purposes. And then they found
Right.
this fossil.
So the drilling project was intended to extract earth core sample?
Intended, the past tense or past particle of the verb intend, to mean to do something.
Yeah.
That was your purpose. That was your goal. So if something was intended, it's something you had planned to do.
Yeah. 의도했다는 뜻이죠. 뭐뭐 할 의도였다. 그래서 원래는 이제 공룡 화석을 찾으려는 의도가 전혀 아니고요. drilling for earth core sample이라고 했죠. 이게 바닥의 그 지질 구조를 알아보기 위한 드릴링 작업이었습니다. 그게 원래 의도였는데 생각지도 못하게 그 주차장 아래에 공룡 화석이 드러났습니다.
I think that's a good point you mentioned right now. To intend something, you can plan. It could mean that you are going to do something,
Yeah.
but there's sort of a feeling like you had planned to do something, but maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So the scientists had intended to look for something else, but they found this fossil.
Paleontologists are the people who study dinosaurs.
Right.
Okay.
Like Ross.
Like Ross and Friends. Yes, exactly.
I think Ross is probably the most famous
Yeah.
paleontologist.
His best friends could never understand his job.
His job. Right. It's a very, he's
They
an
were never
expert
interested
in
either. Yeah.
dinosaur bones.
And he loved it. All right. Well, here's the headline again. Paleontologists at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science have uncovered a rare dinosaur fossil right beneath the museum's parking lot during a drilling project intended to extract an earth core sample. Now, here's our final headline.
A man in the U.S. has become $2 million richer after accidentally buying two identical $1 million winning lottery tickets for the same drawing, mistakenly thinking the first one had expired.
미국의 한 남성이 100만 달러 상금을 주는 같은 회차 복권을 실수로 2장 구매해 200만 달러의 당첨금을 받았습니다. 이 남성은 2장 중 처음 산 복권이 이미 시한이 지났다고 착각했던 것으로 알려졌습니다. Okay, do explain this for us. What happened?
Okay, so the winner of this $2 million is a man named Paul Corcoran from the U.S. state of Massachusetts, and what happened was he bought one ticket for the 7 drawings of this game that he was playing, and he thought that the drawing was over. He thought that the final one was over, so he bought another one
But he
mistakenly.
wrote the same numbers, right?
So that's the point. I think he uses the same set of numbers, which some people do, and some people use random ones. He must have used the same numbers. It had to have been the case because then he found out that he had hit pay dirt twice.
I didn't know you could do that. I would have thought the lottery organizers would say, oh, well, it's the same,
Kind of batch
Yeah, so
of-
we're just going to give you the one prize of $1 million. But I'm surprised they actually said, oh, you have 2 identical winning tickets. We'll give you $2 million.
Right, because technically he has 2 tickets with the correct numbers. And as far as the lottery commission goes, it could be just 2 different people.
Well, good for him.
He's $2 million richer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. That would be around,
So
let's
that's
say,
under 3 billion South Korean won.
그렇죠.
No?
한 30억 정도 되겠죠?
So for today's exchange rate, obviously it would be a little bit under.
30억 조금 안 되네요. 한 27억 정도? 네. 와, 대단합니다.
That's a lot of money.
그래요. 자, identical. What does that mean?
Identical or identical means describes when something is the exact same as another thing.
Yes.
It can't be similar. It can't be sort of the same. It can't be alike in a little bit.
Yeah.
It has to be exactly the same.
Right. So with twins, you either have identical twins or
Fraternal.
twins.
Right.
Yeah. 우리는 이제 일란성 쌍둥이, 이란성 쌍둥이라고 하는데요. 그 일란성이 영어로는 identical, 똑같이 생겼으니까. 그 다음에는 이란성 쌍둥이는 fraternal twins라고 합니다.
Fraternal.
그래요. What about to expire?
To expire means for something to time out. It means for something to no longer be of use or within the deadline. In this case, we used it as expired. So it describes when something is no longer usable.
그렇죠. 뭔가 더 이상 사용할 수 없게 됐을 때 만료되거나 기간이 다 끝나버리거나 그럴 때 it expires라고 할 수 있죠.
We use it for food.
Yes.
We use it for deadlines. We use it for reports. We use it for coupons. We use it for, department store vouchers. When there's a date on it and you've passed that date, it has become expired.
네, 기한이 만료가 됐을 때 쓰는 표현입니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A man in the US has become $2 million richer after accidentally buying 2 identical $1 million winning lottery tickets for the same drawing, mistakenly thinking the first one had expired. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Janet.
Korea is experiencing its most intense summer rainfall season in decades, according to the National Weather Agency, as 31 instances of hourly rainfall over 80 millimeters were recorded last summer, nearly 4 times the 8 cases seen in 2015.
기상청은 지난해 시간당 80mm 이상의 비가 내린 횟수가 31회로 2015년에 8회에 견줘 4배 가까이 늘어나는 등 우리나라가 수십 년 만에 가장 극심한 여름철 호우 현상을 겪고 있다고 발표했습니다. Right, more and more rain. Every day we have a climate story. Tell us more.
Yeah. So they're not talking about just, rain overall, but they're talking about these downpours that are kind of dangerous. They're just like pouring out. So this is according to the Korea Meteorological Administration. So they're saying there were 31 instances back in 2024 where hourly rainfall exceeded 80 millimeters. And that's nearly 4 times more than in 2015. So the agency says heavy rain is also occurring more frequently outside of the traditional monsoon season, with intense bursts continuing into late summer. So between July 17th and 20th alone, at least 10 regions saw daily rainfall levels that statistically occur just once every 200 years. Meteorologists attribute the pattern to a collision of dry northern air and warm, moisture-laden southern air, which stalled and triggered repeated storms in the same areas. And with that system now giving way to expanding Pacific high pressure, forecasters warn that intense heat and humidity are likely to follow.
Oh dear. In other words, 10 years ago in 2015, it rained cats and dogs only about 8 times a year.
Yeah.
But last year, fast forward 10 years roughly, it rained heavily 31 times. So that's almost 4 times as many, of these downpours that we're
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
now. Oh my goodness. Let's look at the word intense.
Intense, yes. So intense means basically it can be like feelings or emotions or having sort of opinions, very extreme, earnest or serious. So having most intense means the highest degree of something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
intense라는 것은 굉장히 강력하거나 극심하다라는 뜻이 있어서 the most intense summer rainfall season is what we're experiencing in decades. 수십 년 만에 이렇게나 많이 비가 집중적으로 내리는 것을 우리가 겪어본 적이 없었는데요. 작년 기준의 데이터인데 지금 그렇게 겪고 있습니다. 아주 이제 비가 많이 온다라는 걸 강조하기 위해서 intense.
Yeah. And you may have noticed because umbrellas don't work.
Oh yeah.
in this rain, yeah. So you're out there. If you're caught in the rain, you might have noticed that you'll need boots. You'll need your umbrella, but you'll also need like a raincoat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What about instances of something?
Yeah, instances of something. It's just another way of saying like examples of.
그러니까 이런 사례라는 뜻이네요. Examples of or instances of. INSTANCES. And then, of course, of. Here's the headline again. Korea is experiencing its most intense summer rainfall season in decades, according to the National Weather Agency, as 31 instances of hourly rainfall over 80 millimeters were recorded last summer, nearly 4 times the 8 cases seen in 2015. Let's move on to the next headline.
A recent survey by the central government finds that most vacationers this summer are expected to travel to the East Coast by car between late July and early August.
국토교통부 조사 결과 올해 여름휴가는 7월 말부터 8월 초에 승용차를 이용해 동해안으로 가는 경우가 가장 많은 것으로 파악됐습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, late July, early August, it is the traditional vacation season.
Peak season, yeah.
Yeah, peak season. And Koreans are expected to use their cars this summer. So this is according to the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport, and they are using a recent survey by the Korea Transport Institute. And they found that 46.5% of over 9,500 respondents plan to take a summer vacation. And of those, nearly 79%, that's nearly 80%, said that they will travel within the country. So they're going to stay here in Korea. And that's up slightly from last year, while about 21% said that they plan to go overseas. And the busiest travel window is expected to be from July 26th. So that's starting this weekend to August 1st, followed by August 9th through 15th. And domestically, they said that the East Coast is the top destination, chosen by nearly a quarter of respondents ahead of the South Coast, West Coast, Capital Region, and Jeju Island. And with such high numbers expected on the roads, authorities are advising travelers to plan ahead and brace for congestion.
Absolutely. So there's a word to describe people who go on vacation, right?
Yes. vacationer. So just add the ER at the end and you have a person that is on vacation away from home.
Yeah. You don't say holidayer,
Yeah.
but you say vacationer.
Vacationer, yeah.
그래요. 휴가 가는 이 피서객을요, vacationer라고 합니다. 그다음에 be expected to.
Yeah, be expected to. This means you're regarded as likely to do something, or you're anticipated to do something, or it could also mean you're requiring someone to fulfill some sort of obligation.
Yeah, be expected to. We use this a lot all the time.
Yeah.
And it just means it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's likely to happen. 이럴 것으로 예상이 된다. 이제 많은 사람들이 설문조사에 응하면서 계획을 얘기한 거라서 물론 변동이 있을 수 있지만 그래도 이렇게 예상이 됩니다. This is what is forecast or expected or this is what is likely. All right, here's the headline again. A recent survey by the central government finds that most vacationers this summer are expected to travel to the East Coast by car between late July and early August.
Beef prices in the U.S. have reached record highs, with the average price of a pound of ground beef rising nearly 12% in June compared to the same month last year, according to government data.
미국 정부 자료에 따르면은 지난 6월 기준 다진 소고기의 파운드당 평균 가격이 지난해 같은 달 대비 12% 가까이 상승하는 등 미국 내 소고기 가격이 사상 최고치를 기록하고 있는 것으로 나타났습니다. Tell us more.
Right, so I think we talked about egg prices going crazy in the U.S. just a
did.
while ago, but I guess egg prices they're okay now.
Okay.
It's now beef. So they're saying that it looks like the prices are going to be this way for a while now. So according to U.S. government data, the average price of ground beef has climbed to $6.12 per pound in June, while uncooked steaks reached $11.49 per pound. And the ongoing surge is tied to a shrinking cattle supply. It's the lowest since 1951. So it's quite low. And this is because of drought, high feed costs, and herd downsizing. And that's squeezing in production. So experts say that recent droughts have forced ranchers to sell off more female cattle, reducing future herd sizes. And compounding the issue is a flesh-eating screwworm outbreak in Mexico, which led to a halt in cattle imports from the region. While pasture conditions are improving and grain prices are down, rebuilding herds will take at least 2 years, meaning high beef prices are likely to continue well past into this grilling season. Now, summer is grilling season in the U.S., so there's going to be high demand, but not much beef to go around.
Why is summer the grilling season?
Everyone has barbecues.
Yeah,
during the
I guess
summer. Yeah.
everyone wants to be outside
Yeah.
and all right.
So, because 4th of July, that's when everyone goes out. They have their barbecues, and and starting from then, everyone likes to go out to the parks and enjoy grilling. Yeah.
그래요. 미국에서는 4th of July which is like Foundation Day.
It's Independence Day.
Independence
Yes,
Day.
yes.
그게 이제 굉장히 큰 명절인데 그날 바베큐 하는 것이 또 하나의 전통이군요. 그러다 보니까 이렇게 육류 소비가 상당히 늘겠죠? 그런데 가뭄 때문에 지금 암소들의 개체수가 많이 줄어들고 그래서 소고기 가격이 또 많이 오른 상황이라고 합니다.
Yep.
Isn't it remarkable the ripple effects of climate change? I mean, the hot weather is eventually affecting our wallets.
It's affecting everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at reaching record highs.
Right. So it means that something has achieved the highest level it has ever attained. So it could refer to various metrics such as prices, quantities, or performance indicators that have surpassed all previous levels.
Reach a number, 어떤 수치에 도달하다. Record highs, 어떤 최고치가 되겠죠? 네, S 붙었으니까 하나 이상일 거라고 예상을 할 수 있습니다. So beef prices in America have reached record highs. 여기저기 미국 전역에서 소고기 가격이 지금 최고치를 경신하고 있는 모습이고요. 거기 기록한 거죠. And what about ground beef?
Ground beef. Ground means it's been ground up. I think you can also say minced beef. Do you say minced beef
in the UK? Yeah, we use minced.
Right. So it's beef that's been cut up into very small pieces in a meat grinder. That's why they use ground, or it could be another machine as well.
Exactly. 다진 소고기를요, ground beef or minced beef라고 합니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Beef prices in the US have reached record highs, with the average price of a pound of ground beef rising nearly 12% in June compared to the same month last year, according to government data. Here's our next headline.
Scientists have announced the detection of the largest known merger of two black holes, resulting in a single black hole with a mass 225 times that of the sun.
우주에서 블랙홀 두 개가 지금까지 알려진 것 중 가장 큰 규모로 합쳐지는 현상을 보이면서 그 결과 태양 질량의 225배에 달하는 블랙홀이 만들어진 사실을 확인했다고 천체 물리학자들이 발표했습니다. Wow. Right, tell us more.
Yeah, wow. So this event, this merger, they have a name for it. It's GW231123.
Okay. As space names go.
Yeah, it's an interesting name, right? So it was observed back in November 2023 by the international LIGO Virgo CAGRA collaboration using gravitational wave technology. So the two merging black holes weighed about 103 and 137 solar masses and were spinning near the physical limit allowed by Einstein's theory of general relativity. And experts say this record-breaking find challenges current theories on how massive black holes form. So previously, the largest black hole formed by merger was about 140 solar masses, and researchers believe these giant black holes may have formed through earlier mergers. So this discovery will be discussed at upcoming global astronomy conferences with data to be shared later this summer.
그래요. 이렇게 천체 물리학자들, astrophysicist들이 내놓은 연구 결과입니다. 뭐 연구 결과도 되고 그 다음에는 이제 관찰 결과겠죠. This is what they have observed. Let's have a look at a merger of something.
Yeah, merger. So we talk about like company mergers a lot, right?
M&As.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So mergers and acquisitions, that's M&As. But merger means you're combining two things. So it's a combination of two things. And as we mentioned, we use this a lot when we're talking about companies, when we are combining two companies into one.
그래요. 그 M&A 할 때도 그 M이 merger에 해당이 되죠. 합병입니다. M&A가 인수 합병인데 영어에서는 합병인수 이 순서로 말을 해요. Mergers and acquisitions 이렇게. 여기서는 지금 이제 어떤 무엇이 합병이 되느냐 사실 합병은 아니지만 합쳐지는 그런 이제 현상 우주 현상을 얘기하고 있고요. 그 다음에는 이제 225 times that of the sun이라는 표현이 있어요.
Yeah. So this means it's greater than that. So how many times that of A means it's X times greater than that of A. So it's larger than, so that of something, basically it's a phrase that's used to refer back to something that was previously mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's used as a comparison
Yes.
when you are specifying that origin of something.
I think that's the key point that we're comparing.
Yeah.
So when you say it's 10 times that of something, you must mention what you're talking about first.
Yes.
And then you're saying it is 2 times, 10 times, whatever, that of another thing that you're comparing. So let me give you an example. Let's say we could talk about animals, for example, elephants and lions. Now think about their ears and how big those ears are. And you might say the ears of an elephant are 3 times that of a lion's.
Yeah.
And then you can also use another similar expression, which is than that of.
Yes.
Instead of saying how many times, you can just say an elephant's ears are larger than that of a lion's. So if you have a number, then you use times, 몇 배. If you don't have a number, if you just have a descriptive word, then you can say than that of.
Yeah. So times is basically, it means it's multiplied by.
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. But than is, you're just comparing it. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's just used as a comparison.
Exactly. 그래서 이제 곱셈 얘기할 때도요. 뭐 예를 들자면 3 times 5 is 15 이렇게 뭐 곱하기 뭐 그게 times예요. 여기서도 이제 몇 배라는 뜻으로 썼습니다. Right, here's the headline again. Scientists have announced the detection of the largest known merger of two black holes, resulting in a single black hole with a mass 225 times that of the Sun. Let's move on to the final headline.
Production has begun on the new small screen adaptation of Harry Potter as the first picture of the lead actor in costume was released.
해리포터를 원작으로 한 TV 시리즈가 본격적인 제작에 들어간 가운데 극중 의상을 입은 주연 배우의 사진이 처음으로 공개됐습니다.
Yes.
All right, the new Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I understand it's a whole new cast.
Yes.
Tell us more.
Yeah, I think a lot of Harry Potter fans are very excited about this as it's a long anticipated production. So it's a TV adaptation. And the first image of an 11-year-old, I think his name is Dominic McLaughlin, in costume as the young wizard has been released. The series, which is expected to take 10 years to complete, will offer a more detailed retelling of J.K. Rowling's books than the original films. The new cast members include Rory Wilmot as Neville Longbottom and Anton Lesser as Ollivander, and they join really big names like John Lithgow as Dumbledore. There's Nick Frost as Hagrid, and the show will be filmed at Warner Brothers Studios in the UK. I believe it's the same location that was used for the original movies. So they're promising that it will be a faithful adaptation to the books, giving more time to explore the book's storylines, and the first season is set to premiere in 2027.
2 years from now.
Yep.
All right. What's the small screen?
The small screen is TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the small screen is your TV screen, and the big screen refers to movies.
그냥 말 그대로 작은 화면이 아니라 텔레비전을 뜻하는 비유적인 표현이군요.
Yep.
그래서 a new or the new small screen adaptation이라고 하는 것은 the new TV adaptation이라는 뜻으로 해석하면 돼요. 그래서 이제 텔레비전을 위해서 새로 각색이 되고 새로 캐스팅이 된 그런 제작물입니다. 똑같은 해리포터하고 그 원작을 바탕으로 하지만 완전히 다른 그 캐스트와 함께 할 거고요. 뭐
Yeah.
당연히 그래야겠죠. 지금 이제 original Harry Potter 캐스트
Yeah.
그러니까 아이들이 더 이상 아이들이
They're not,
아니니까.
they're not kids anymore.
그렇습니다. 그리고 안타깝게도 그 이제 그 선생님들 중에는 이제
Many have
돌아가신
passed
분들도
on,
계시고, 네 그래요. How about in costume?
In costume, it means that you are wearing clothes that are typical of a particular time period. So in this case, not really time period, but it's they're in wizard costume.
Yeah.
So it would be more fitting of a character or that sort of setting of for this particular film.
Yep, exactly. 의상을 입었다라는 뜻으로 in costume, be in costume. So Harry Potter, this new Harry Potter, played by Dominic McLaughlin. He's wearing the whole Harry Potter costume with the little circle
glasses, yeah. The
and-
spectacles.
yes, exactly. And that image is out there for everyone to see.
He's very cute. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures as well. Yeah,
yeah.
he looks adorable. All right, well, here's the headline again. Production has begun on the new small screen adaptation of Harry Potter as the first picture of the lead actor in costume was released. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Karen Choi.
The number of babies born in the country rose nearly 4% in May from a year earlier, marking the biggest increase for the month in 14 years, according to government data.
우리나라 5월 출생아 수가 1년 전보다 4% 가까이 늘어나면서 같은 달 기준으로 14년 만에 가장 높은 증가율을 보였습니다. All right, tell us more.
Yeah, so a total of 20,309 babies were born in May. That was up 3.8% from the 19,567 babies that were born a year earlier. And that is the steepest on-year increase for any May since 2011 when the figure rose by 5.3%.
2011년 이후 출생아 수의 전년 동월 대비 증가율이 5월 기준으로요. 가장 높았다는 거죠. 이번에 3.8%를 기록한 2025년 5월 출생아 증가율입니다. 네.
You know what I thought of when I saw these statistics is I was thinking, okay, I've got two boys that are 5 and 8 years old respectively, and I thought, okay, so in about 20 years' time, they're going to have more potential wives to choose from because the birth rate's going up. So, okay, good for them.
Okay, good for them. Good for them. All right. 자, more marriages as well compared to the same period last year. So overall, I would say more people getting married, more babies being born, which is a good sign for Korea. We have a
population crisis
yes.
that's been talked about for the last couple of decades.
Yeah,
So, certainly good news, and we just hope this continues.
Let's have a look at the word nearly.
Nearly is like almost to a certain degree. So when you think of the base word near, it's like you're close to something, right? And in this particular case, it's close to what you're aiming for or what you're comparing it with. So it was nearly 4%. It wasn't quite 4%. It's not, right there. It's 3.8%. So not quite 4%, but it's nearly, it's almost 4%.
거의 뭐뭐하다. Near means something is close. So nearly basically means whatever number you're talking about or whatever situation it is, it's close to something else, I guess. A target or a rounded up number. So I might say it's nearly 8:15 right now. It's not.
Yeah,
but
not
it's,
quite.
No, it's nearly.
Nearly.
Okay. What about mark the biggest increase?
So the biggest increase is how much you've improved on something or gone up in a particular stat or whatever it might be. And when it says here, mark the biggest increase, I kind of feel like, okay, we're keeping a record of something or we want to take a note of something that this is what's been had. So it's not something that you're kind of brushing off or just kind of mentioning, but it's something that might be recorded or something that you might want to remember for later.
Because, we use markers to mark things down. 기록한다라는 의미가 있죠, mark가. 그래서 marking the biggest increase. This is a kind of phrasing you hear a lot in the news.
Yes.
You're marking something. 그래서 이러한 것을 기록했다. The biggest increase, 가장 큰 증가율을. Well, here's the headline one more time. The number of babies born in the country rose nearly 4% in May from a year earlier, marking the biggest increase for the month in 14 years, according to government data. Let's move on to the second headline.
The Korean passport is now ranked the second most powerful in the world, according to the latest Henley Passport Index, granting holders visa-free access to 190 countries.
세계 각국의 여권 파워를 측정하는 헨리 여권 지수의 최신 보고서에서 무비자로 방문 가능한 나라 수가 190개국으로 집계된 한국 여권이 2위에 올랐습니다. So I have a very powerful passport because I have a South Korean passport.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, so before Korea had the third most powerful, but now they've joined Japan as the second most powerful. And basically it just means that we're able to go to more countries visa-free. You don't need a visa to go there. You can just go and enjoy your time at more countries than previous. And And yeah, did you know the bottom of the? I found this interesting. So the country with the fewest visa-free places you can go to was actually Afghanistan.
I'd
They were
imagine.
ranked 99th with just 25 countries that they can visit visa-free, whereas Korea is up to 190 in comparison. So 190 versus 25. A very huge gap of countries that's saying, yeah, come on in.
Of course, whether or not a country grants another country visa-free access has a lot to do with diplomacy and bilateral relations. And, democratic countries tend to allow visa-free access to each other quite a lot, especially if you have, good relations or some sort of economic partnership with each other. But I guess those countries where there's not a lot of freedom, you'll see less of those visa-free accesses being given.
Possible threats, dangers is I think, considered because
For sure.
you don't want to be bringing in potential criminals or people that might cause problems,
Yes.
terrorism, things like that in your country. So I think those are all considered as well. On the flip side, one of my friends is kind of in the know with stuff like this. And I remember him telling me a long time ago, one of the most important things for rating a country as high as Korea is rated is how much travelers tend to spend in the countries when they travel.
Okay.
So if you're traveling on vacation or whether it be through business, but every time you go somewhere, you tend to buy things, then it's good for the other country.
Yeah,
So, Korea tends to, Korean people tend to spend a lot of money when they travel abroad, and therefore they're very popular people to invite to your country as well.
That makes sense. So at the top of the list, we have Singapore and then South Korea, and at the bottom of the list, Afghanistan. All right, now let's have a look at the term visa holders passport holders. What's a holder?
So if you hold something, then it means you have possession of something. Or, it could be something that's holding something in place, literally. So you're keeping something in the same place. But in this particular case, we're talking about being in possession of something. So if you possess a Korean passport, then you have a little more power than possessing another country's passport.
Yeah, the most, obvious usage of the word hold for me would be to hold hands. You might say to young children in kindergarten, for example, hold hands with each other, 손 잡으세요. So we use hold to say 잡다. However, in this case, we're saying it's someone with a passport. They're not necessarily holding the passport. They have a passport.
Yes. If you think of there's a lot of cases where if you have an ER at the end of a word,
Yeah.
it makes you a person
Yes.
of that, right? So in the same case here, it's sort of implying that you are a person that is holding on to something.
Yeah. Our writer says a lot of people have cup holders. You can have cup holders in the car, for example. I guess you can have. Where else do you have cup holders? In your bag? I think these days you can have sort of cup holders that don't move around.
If you have a baby stroller, you can attach cup holders
That's
to
another-
those as
Yes,
well.
that's right.
So yeah, absolutely.
그래요. 그래서 원래 이렇게 잡고 있는다라는 뜻의 hold, 그다음에 holder가 물건이 될 수도 있지만 여기서는 사람입니다. passport holder는 여권을 소지한 사람이죠.
Yeah, you could also be a placeholder for another person,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just holding this place for this person. I'm a placeholder. Like if you're in
Yeah.
a line,
Sure.
you're holding a place for somebody else.
잠깐 제가 자리를 맡아둘게요 할 때 I'm holding this place for someone 이렇게도 쓰고요. 자, 다음으로 visa free access.
So visa free, meaning you don't need a visa in order to get into a particular country. What is a visa? The visa is essentially permission that says you are allowed into this country. So depending on which country you're going to, there might be certain countries that require you to get official permission before entering that country, or in some cases, if it's a visa-free country, then you can just show up and say, "Oh, you're Korean? Oh, okay, yep, come on in."
Exactly. 우리도 비자라고 하는데 영어는 visa, 발음은 visa 이렇게 하고요. 무비자를 영어로는 visa-free. 입국을 여기서 access라고 부릅니다.
Yeah, if you have access to something, then it means you're allowed to do something or you're able to go in to a particular place.
Exactly. Well, here's the headline one more time. The Korean passport is now ranked the second most powerful in the world, according to the latest Henley Passport Index, granting holders visa-free access to 190 countries.
Korean director Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice has been officially selected to compete for the prestigious Golden Lion at this year's Venice International Film Festival, set to begin in late August.
박찬욱 감독의 영화 어쩔 수가 없다가 다음 달에 개막하는 올해 베니스 국제영화제 경쟁 부문에 공식 초청돼 유명한 황금 사자상을 놓고 다른 출품작들과 겨루게 됩니다. Alright, tell us more.
Yeah, so Park Chan-wook, of course, a very famous Korean director. I would venture to say probably my favorite Korean director.
Did you enjoy the Vengeance series?
Yeah, I didn't see Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, but
Okay.
obviously Old Boy. JSA is one of my favorite Korean movies.
Yeah. He's just one of the top directors in Korea.
Yeah, and
for sure.
he's actually reunited with Lee Byung-hun, who was in JSA,
Yeah, that's
to be a part of
right.
this film as well. And this is his first movie since Decision to Leave, which was back in 2022. He won Best Director at Cannes that year. So he is no stranger to winning international awards for the films that he's involved in. And perhaps he'll have an opportunity to win again this year.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this movie. They say it's based on an American novel called The Axe, and it revolves around a husband, Mansu, who has just recently lost his job. He's been fired, and now he needs to get a new job, and that's all they say. So I don't know. But I guess something ensues.
Yeah.
Something dramatic happens. He's married to Miri, who's played by Son Ye-jin, another very famous actress here in Korea. And they have a family of 2 children. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Don't know much about the movie or the book, but
I like going into movies with knowing less.
Well, if I didn't give you too much.
Yeah, like
just the characters.
if I know that it's supposed to be a good movie and just having maybe like a rough outline of it, sure, I guess. But there's been a lot of movies that I've gone to see with just too much information.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of like, I wish I didn't know all that. But certainly I can't wait to see this. I think it's going to be great. The cast plus director, I mean, and it's up for an award already. So
yeah. Well, Park Chan-wook was invited to this particular film festival for this exact category back in 2005 for Lady Vengeance? Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. So that was when he was invited. But he's back. It's been 20 years and we wish him the best. Let's have a look at competing for the prestigious Golden Lion.
Yeah, if you're competing for something, then it means you have the opportunity to win. You're in a competition.
Yeah.
There's going to be winners, there's going to be losers, but you have an opportunity to win something. What is it that you have the opportunity to win? It is the prestigious Golden Lion Award. And something that's prestigious is something that everybody wants. It's kind of seen as like, wow, it's something that people hold above other things as a standard.
Exactly. 그 prestigious라고 하기도 하고요. prestigious라고 하기도 합니다. 가운데 I의 발음이 이제 어느 지역에 가느냐에 따라 원어민들도 발음을 다르게 할 수 있는데 이게 뭐냐면은 굉장히 명망이 있는 누구나 가지고 싶어 하는 이런 의미라고 볼 수 있겠죠. 뭐 권위 있는 이렇게 할 수도 있겠고요. And the Golden Lion Award is, of course, a very coveted prize. If you're an actor or a director or anyone in the movie industry, I guess you want this,
Yeah.
right? That's why they put the word prestigious in front of it. Yeah. Competing는 경쟁하다. 그래서 이 권위 있는 황금 사자상을 놓고 경쟁을 하는 것을 competing for this prestigious Golden Lion이라고 할 수 있습니다. award가 생략됐죠. And what is set to begin?
If something is set to begin, then it has a start date or time that has been determined. So this is now official. This is going to be the schedule of when something is to start.
그래요. 이제 언제 시작할 예정이다. Set to begin 이라고 합니다. 자, 언제라 그랬죠? 아까 8월 말?
End of August, yes.
End of August. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Korean director Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice has been officially selected to compete for the prestigious Golden Lion at this year's Venice International Film Festival, set to begin in late August. Here's our next headline.
A severe heat wave sweeping across Iran has disrupted water and electricity supplies in much of the country, with temperatures soaring to 50 degrees Celsius and reservoir levels falling to their lowest in a century, according to state media.
극심한 폭염이 휩쓸고 있는 이란의 많은 지역에서 수도와 전기 공급이 차질을 빚고 있는 가운데 낮 최고 기온은 섭씨 50도까지 치솟고 상수 공급댐의 수위는 100년 만에 최저 수준까지 떨어졌다고 이란 국영 매체가 보도했습니다. All right, tell us more.
Yeah, so it is getting very, very hot in Iran. 15 of Iran's 31 provinces, including the capital, Tehran, have been ordered to close the government offices in those areas in a bid to try to conserve both water and electricity. So because it's so much consumption going on in terms of the utilities, they're trying to close down all unessential buildings and workers and stuff just to try to conserve right now.
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot of disruption, I would imagine, because of the heat. It says here that this heat wave has disrupted water supplies and electricity supplies.
Yeah, and if something is disrupted, you're sort of ruining something. You're ruining the piece of something. It could be ruining the supply of something in this particular case. If you're disrupting a conversation, then, you know, people are in the middle of a conversation, but you're kind of breaking in, you're ruining that, or you're kind of breaking it up. So you kind of think of like a steady flow. If you have like a peaceful pond of water that, you know, looks like a sheet of glass, but you toss a rock into it, then the ripples of the water is kind of ruining the piece of the water. So you have something that's kind of going the way that it is, and then when you kind of ruin what it was, then you're disrupting it, or the flow of what it was.
Exactly. 고요했던 흐름을 깨트리는 것을 disrupting 한다라고 말할 수 있습니다. 여러 상황에 적용할 수 있고요. 여기서 뭐라고 하고 있냐면은 the heat wave, 이 폭염이요, has disrupted 무엇을 지금 중단하고 방해하고 있냐면 water and electricity supplies. 그래서 수도하고 전기 공급에 차질을 빚었다라고 볼 수 있겠죠. Now, what about to soar?
If you are soaring or something is soaring, then it is going high.
Yeah.
And the place that I hear this word a lot is we talk about eagles soaring because they fly higher than most birds. So they fly higher up, they are soaring up. And you hear, oh, like the eagle's soaring or this bird is soaring. It's going higher than normal.
Yeah. I love watching birds of prey fly. It's not very often that you get to see them in Korea, but every now and then if there's a hawk flying by, they're just so different to pigeons or, you know, little other birds or seagulls or whatever, because they don't flap their wings. Wings, that is. They're so graceful. They just have it wide open and they almost glide along the sky, very high up.
Yeah.
But, you know,
and as
beautiful.
predators, you know, it's more advantageous for them because they can look down and see their prey, where the prey don't usually look up because, you know, you're looking down from wherever you are.
Yeah.
And then when you're attacking, instead of having to flap your wings to move, you just kind of go into a free fall. So, you know, which is how falcons gain the speeds that they gain, is because they're just going down.
Really. It's fascinating. I love watching animal documentaries and things like that. 자, soar, S-O-A-R라는 게요. 이렇게 독수리가 날아오를 때도 쓰지만 우리가 어떤 기온이 엄청나게 올랐다 할 때도 쓸 수 있어요. So temperatures have been soaring. 그러면은 기온이 급상승했다. 온도가 엄청 많이 올랐다라는 뜻이죠.
You could have a certain stock that is soaring
Yeah.
as well in
That's
value.
good if
So-
if you've
if you
invested
own
in it. All right. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A severe heat wave sweeping across Iran has disrupted water and electricity supplies in much of the country, with temperatures soaring to 50 degrees Celsius and reservoir levels falling to their lowest in a century, according to state media. Here's the next headline.
The United States and Taiwan are exploring the possibility of a groundbreaking spaceport partnership that could slash travel time between them from over half a day to as little as 2.5 hours.
미국과 대만이 반나절 이상 걸리던 양국 간 이동 시간을 일명 준궤도 비행을 통해 최소 2시간 반까지 단축할 수 있는 획기적인 방법을 모색하고 있는 것으로 알려졌습니다. Wow, tell us more.
Yeah, so they're talking about cutting travel time between the two countries. And what they're thinking, so they say spaceport.
Yeah.
I don't think they're creating like an airport in outer space, but it means that you would travel higher up outside of the atmosphere. Like, I wonder if they might even get to the point where you might be weightless, and then you just kind of go down again. So you're using I guess the space in order to get out and then back into the atmosphere to cut the travel time.
Yep. Currently, a direct commercial flight between Taipei and, say, Houston, how long would that take?
So that's 14 and a half hours. And yeah,
And
there's
that's going to be cut to about two and a half hours.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like the KTX as opposed to the old
yeah,
trains.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. 와, 현재는 대만에서 미국까지 한 14시간 반 뭐 이 정도 걸리는데 비행기로. 근데 이런 준궤도 비행이라는 것이 개발이 충분히 되면은 2시간 반 만에 갈 수 있다고요? 엄청난 속도인데요?
I think they're saying that it's already possible right now to a
Okay.
certain degree. However, the issue is that the intense G-forces that are created
Yeah.
from entering back into the Earth's atmosphere, especially dropping as fast as you would be dropping, the amount of the gravity force that would be on you, it's not good for untrained passengers as opposed to like actual astronauts or fighter plane pilots and stuff like that.
So this is not going to be a commercial flight.
Well, they are hoping that it can be something in the future, but right now, I think they're saying so it's possible right now for people that are trained, but for commercial flights right now, it's not possible. But they're looking at the possibility of that in the future.
Because the actors who trained for the Top Gun movie, they said they actually had to, really be in some of those scenes. And the G-force made some of the actors sick.
Yeah.
It's very painful. And so it's...
Sometimes you can black out as well
really?
because you get not enough or too much blood into your brain. So it can be dangerous, certainly. So I think the training is something that they want to make sure that people do receive if they were to go that route.
Oh, that makes sense. Let's have a look at the word groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking is something that you're doing that hasn't been done before. We talk about a groundbreaking event, or in this case, a groundbreaking travel possibility, something that you're doing that hasn't been done before.
Groundbreaking이라는 것은 획기적인이라는 뜻이죠. And what's slashing travel time?
If you're slashing something, then you are cutting it. It's another word for cut. So you're cutting travel time. Essentially, you're making the time shorter. So you're making it faster to get somewhere.
Travel time은요, 이동 시간이에요. 꼭 여행을 한다라는 의미 말고도 이동할 때 얼마든지 travel이라고 쓸 수 있는데 그런 이동 시간을 많이 줄인다는 뜻이겠죠? To cut travel time or slash travel time. S-L-A-S-H. Here's the headline one more time. The United States and Taiwan are exploring the possibility of a groundbreaking spaceport partnership that could slash travel time between them from over half a day to as little as 2.5 hours. Well, that's it for the headlines with Jason Lee.